Shadows Without a Name. Chapter 2. The Flash Drive. Andrey did not turn off the computer. He remained seated, motionless, as if any movement might disrupt something fragile forming in his mind. The room felt different now. Not because anything had changed, because he had. The video had ended, but its structure remained, like a pattern that continued even after the source disappeared. If you're watching this, it means it started again. Again. The word no longer felt like a warning. It felt like confirmation. Andrey leaned forward slowly, pressed play. The screen flickered. His own face appeared once more. This time he didn't listen. He studied. Every pause, every breath, every shift in focus. The man on the screen himself wasn't speaking randomly. He was choosing what to say and what not to. You already tried to stop this. Andrey paused the video. That's not information, he said quietly. He leaned closer. That's a conclusion, which meant there was missing data. He rewound, slowed the playback. Frame by frame, the image began to break under inspection. Compression artifacts, light distortion, and then something else. Behind him, a shape. Not part of the background, not static, present. Andrey's fingers froze. He adjusted the brightness, lowered contrast, sharpened edges. The shape didn't disappear. It shifted. Barely, but enough to prove it wasn't noise, it was there, watching. "Who are you?" Andrey said under his breath. The room remained silent, but the silence was no longer empty. His phone vibrated. The sound cut through the air with unnatural precision. Andrey didn't pick it up immediately. He looked at it. The screen lit up. No number, no sender, message. "You're watching, but not seeing." Andrey exhaled slowly. "Then show me," he said. No response, of course. This wasn't a conversation, it was direction. He stood, walked to the window. The rain had softened, but it hadn't stopped. It never seemed to stop. The city continued its routine. Cars moved, lights flickered. People existed. Nothing had changed, which meant everything had. He turned back, sat down again, slower now, more deliberate. "You want me to find something," he said aloud. Silence. "And you think I already have?" "Nothing." Andrey nodded slightly. "That's why you're not answering." His phone vibrated again. "You're closer than before." Andrey's expression didn't change. "Before when?" he asked. No reply, which meant the answer existed, just not here. He returned to the case files, opened them again. This time he ignored the obvious. Names, dates, locations, surface. He went deeper, second pass, third, looking for overlap, something subtle, something hidden, and then he found it. A reference, small, buried in medical documentation. Cognitive Memory Adjustment Program. Andrey stopped, read it again, then again. "This isn't part of the case," he said quietly, which meant it was the case. He accessed the attached files, restricted. He bypassed it, easily, too easily. That bothered him. The data loaded, old records, participants, dozens of names. He scrolled, fast. Then stopped. His own name, Andrey Volkov. No shock, only observation. "That's not possible," he said. But it was, because it existed. He opened the profile. Minimal information, deliberately minimal. Name, age, classification, and one line. Lead coordinator. Andrey leaned back slowly. Coordinator, not subject, not victim. Control. His phone vibrated. He picked it up immediately this time. "You're getting closer." Andrey looked at the screen. "Yes," he said quietly, "I am." The room felt smaller, not physically, conceptually. as if everything around him had narrowed into a single line of thought, focused, directed. He returned to the video, watched it again, now with context, now with awareness. If you're watching this, it means it started again. You already tried to stop this, and you failed. Andrey leaned forward. "Or I didn't try," he said quietly. A pause. "Or I wasn't supposed to succeed." That changed the structure. Failure implies intent. But what if there was no intent to win? His phone vibrated again. "You were asking the right questions." Andrey didn't react. He was no longer being led, he was catching up. "This isn't a crime," he said. Silence. "This is an experiment." A pause. Longer this time, then, "Yes." The first direct confirmation. Andrei's eyes narrowed. "Who are you?" he asked. Silence. Then, "You already know." Andrey looked at his reflection in the dark screen, at the version of himself that no longer felt reliable. "Yes," he said quietly, "I just don't remember." He leaned back, closed his eyes for a moment, and in that moment something surfaced. Not a full memory, a fragment, a room, white, controlled, a voice, his own. "We don't erase memory," it said. "We rewrite access." Andrei's eyes opened instantly. He sat up. "That's not possible," he said. But it was, because it felt real. His phone vibrated again. "You're remembering." Andrey stared at the message. "No," he said quietly. A pause. "I'm reconstructing." And that was worse, because reconstruction can be controlled. The lights flickered, once, then again. Andrey didn't move. He was no longer reacting. He was waiting. "Show yourself," he said. Silence. Then, "You're not ready." Andrey smiled slightly. "For what?" A pause, longer than before. Then, "To see what you became." Silence filled the room, and this time it wasn't empty. It was heavy. Andrey leaned back slowly. "This isn't the beginning," he said. "No," the message replied. "It never was." And in that moment, he understood something fundamental. This wasn't about solving a case. This was about remembering a decision. End of chapter 2.